is fine, Beyonce is good. Yeah, everybody says he's just like Robin Hood.
Marvin Gaye told friends exactly who would kill him. Ronnie Van Zant stood in flames on his album cover 3 days before the plane went down. Marc Bolan said he'd never see 30. He died 2 weeks before his 30th birthday. These weren't lucky guesses. They were warnings hidden in plain sight. Some predicted the method. Others named their killer. A few gave the exact age. The darkest part? We heard every warning and didn't listen until it was too late. Here are 10 musicians who predicted their own death. Number 10, Bob Marley.
Why you forgot I'm so no, why you forgot I'm so.
Reggae's greatest voice knew he was dying and kept singing anyway. In 1977, doctors found melanoma under his toenail after a football injury. They recommended amputation. He refused on Rastafarian religious grounds, telling friends he would keep playing until Jah called him home. That decision sealed his fate.
Not a song of freedom is all I ever had.
Listen to Redemption Song from 1980, just acoustic guitar and that unmistakable voice. The simplicity was intentional, a stripped-down farewell from a man who knew time was running out. The entire Uprising album reads like a spiritual goodbye. Could You Be Loved carries bittersweet weight. Forever Loving Jah sounds like a man making peace with what's coming. He collapsed during his final concert at Madison Square Garden in September 1980. He jogged in Central Park that morning, couldn't finish the show. The cancer had spread to his brain, lungs, and liver.
We the generation shot through great tribulation.
He died in Miami on May 11, 1981, at age 36. His last words to his son Ziggy, "Money can't buy life." True fans hear Uprising differently now. Not just an album, but a dying man's testament. Everyone else just knows Three Little Birds. They don't know he wrote it while fighting death. Number 9, John Lennon.
Keep that production, he got walrus gumbo.
Fame felt like a target on his back. In a 1965 interview, Lennon talked casually about famous people being killed by some loony. Just an observation about celebrity. He couldn't have known he was describing his own murder 15 years early. The line from The Ballad of John and Yoko about being crucified took on darker meaning after December 1980. After 5 years away from music, Lennon returned with Double Fantasy in late 1980. Starting over, announced he was back. Watching the Wheels, explained where he'd been, at home, raising his son, finding peace. The album was a love letter to Yoko and to his new life. He told interviewers he finally felt happy. He mentioned that living at the Dakota felt like a fishbowl. Fans knew exactly where to find him.
Carry all the world you.
December 8, 1980. Mark David Chapman shot him 4 times in the back outside the Dakota at 10:50 p.m. The same man had asked for Lennon's autograph hours earlier. Lennon signed his album. The world heard the news from Howard Cosell during Monday Night Football. True fans remember those old interviews, the vague warnings about crazy fans and famous people. He described the type of death years before it found him. Number 8, Freddie Mercury.
On your face, big disgrace, kicking your can all over.
He knew exactly how much time he had left, and he used every second of it. Listen to Who Wants to Live Forever from 1986, written for the Highlander soundtrack, but the lyrics hit different knowing what was coming. Mercury was diagnosed with AIDS in 1987. He told almost no one. Instead, he kept recording, kept performing, kept being Freddie.
Hey, are you ready for this? I'm standing on the edge of your seat. Out the doorway, the bullets.
By 1991, he could barely walk. Brian May later revealed that Mercury downed vodka and said he'd do it anyway. That's how The Show Must Go On got recorded. A dying man summoning everything he had left for one final anthem. The power in that vocal is a man refusing to go quietly. Watch the music video for These Are the Days of Our Lives. He's visibly frail, shot in black and white to hide how ill he looked. At the end, he looks directly into the camera. The final line wasn't just a lyric, it was goodbye.
And another one gone, and another one gone, another one bites the dust.
November 21, 1991, Mercury issued a public statement confirming his AIDS diagnosis. November 24, 1991, he was dead. One day, he controlled the narrative until his final breath, died at 45 in his Kensington home. True fans can't listen to The Show Must Go On without knowing he could barely stand while recording it. He didn't predict his death, he documented it in real time. Number 7, Karen Carpenter. voice was flawless. The body was failing. Karen Carpenter possessed one of the purest vocal instruments in pop music history. That warm contralto on We've Only Just Begun, the ache in Rainy Days and Mondays, the effortless control on Close to You. Behind the perfection, anorexia nervosa was destroying her. She knew it. She told friends the disorder was killing her.
It seems that it's the only thing to do.
Her weight dropped to 80 pounds during the worst periods. The Carpenters sold over 100 million records while Karen slowly disappeared. Listen to Superstar or Goodbye to Love. There's a fragility beneath the technical perfection that takes on new meaning now. She sought treatment in 1982, seemed to be recovering, told family she was finally winning. But she confided to close friends that the damage might be permanent. Years of ipecac syrup abuse had weakened her heart beyond repair.
And love may grow for all we know.
February 4th, 1983. Her mother found her collapsed in a closet at her parents' Downey home. Heart failure at age 32. She was supposed to be getting better. The recovery was an illusion. Her death became one of the first to bring national awareness to eating disorders. Richard Carpenter never fully recovered. True fans heard the warning signs in her voice all along, the fragility hiding beneath those pristine vocals. Number 6. Keith Moon. The wildest drummer in rock knew he wouldn't get old. He said it constantly, to journalists, to friends, to anyone who'd listen. "I won't live to be old, I know that." Then he'd destroy another hotel room, drive another car into another swimming pool. Live like every night was his last, because he believed it was. That chaos fueled The Who's greatest moments. The explosive drumming on My Generation, the relentless power behind Won't Get Fooled Again, the thunderous fills on Baba O'Reilly. Moon didn't just keep time, he attacked the drums like a man with nothing to lose. By 1978, the alcohol had caught up with him. Doctors prescribed Heminevrin to help with withdrawal. He told friends the pills made him feel strange. Who Are You had just been released. It would be his final album with the band. September 7th, 1978. Moon attended the premiere party for The Buddy Holly Story in London with his girlfriend, returned to his flat at 9 Curzon Place, took 32 Heminevrin tablets, died in his sleep at age 32. The flat was the same one where Mama Cass Elliot had died 4 years earlier. Same building, two rock legends, 4 years apart. The Who never recovered. True fans know Moon predicted it for years. Everyone else just remembers the destruction, not the dark certainty behind it. Before we continue with number 5, I want to hear from you. How many of these predictions did you already know about? And which one has surprised you the most so far? Drop a comment below. Also, tell me where you're watching from. We have people tuning in from Florida to Berlin. Number 5, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Remember the way that you love me. You anything I say.
He was nervous about the helicopter. Multiple people heard him mention it that night. August 27th, 1990, Alpine Valley Music Theater in East Troy, Wisconsin. Stevie had just finished performing with Eric Clapton, B.B. King, Buddy Guy, and Robert Cray. The show featured Sweet Home Chicago as the finale, all the blues legends trading verses on stage. His performance on Texas Flood earlier that night was incendiary. Everything was finally coming together. The fog was dense, visibility near zero. 4 helicopters were waiting to transport everyone back to Chicago. Stevie asked crew members about the safety of flying in those conditions. He'd just completed rehab, was sober, experiencing a massive career resurgence. The Sky is Crying and Crossfire were getting serious radio play. He was finally clean, finally healthy, finally getting the recognition he deserved. He took the last available seat despite his reservations about the weather. 12:50 a.m. The helicopter struck a ski slope 950 feet after takeoff. Pilot disorientation in the fog. Stevie Ray Vaughan, the pilot, and 3 members of Clapton's crew, all dead. He was 35. The helicopter he specifically asked about became the one that killed him. True fans know he voiced concern about those exact conditions that exact night. Pride and Joy became a memorial. The blues lost its greatest modern voice to the fog he knew was dangerous. Number 4, Marc Bolan.
Ever seen the wind before? It's like a ball of love.
Two predictions, both accurate. Marc Bolan never learned to drive because cars terrified him. He told journalist Keith Altham directly, "I won't make old bones." Throughout his career with T-Rex, he avoided automobiles whenever possible, took taxis, always had someone else behind the wheel. The man who created glam rock's biggest anthems, Get It On, 20th Century Boy, Metal Guru, was genuinely afraid of vehicles. He also said repeatedly he wouldn't live to see 30. Friends confirm he mentioned it constantly, like he could see an invisible clock counting down. Ride a White Swan launched T-Rex to stardom in 1970. Electric Warrior made them superstars. Bolan influenced everyone from Bowie to Oasis, created a sound that defined early 70s British rock. By 1977, he was attempting a comeback. The fear of cars never went away. September 16, 1977, riding as a passenger in a Mini driven by his girlfriend Gloria Jones. 5 a.m., Barnes Common, southwest London. The car hit a fence post, then a sycamore tree. Mark died instantly. Gloria survived with serious injuries. He was 29 years old, 2 weeks before his 30th birthday, killed in the exact vehicle he feared, at the exact age he predicted. True fans visit the tree in Barnes. There's still a shrine there. Two predictions, both came true. Number 3, Jim Morrison.
China, we can only lose, and our love become a funeral pie.
He gave himself a deadline and kept it. In a 1969 interview, Morrison said directly, "I think I'll be dead in a couple of years." Not a joke, not metaphorical. A statement of fact delivered with eerie calm. He'd been obsessed with death since adolescence. Read Rimbaud and Nietzsche, filled notebooks with poetry about dying young. Listen to The End from The Doors' debut album. 11 minutes of Oedipal nightmare ending with, "This is the end, my only friend, the end." He told friends he wanted to join the great dead rock stars. By 1969, Brian Jones was dead. Jimi Hendrix would follow in 1970. Janis Joplin died weeks after Hendrix. Morrison watched them go and seemed to know he was next. Riders on the Storm was the Doors' final single with Jim alive, released in June 1971. That whispered vocal sounds like a ghost already. When the music's over, takes on unbearable weight, knowing he meant it literally. July 3, 1971, found dead in the bathtub of his Paris apartment at 17 Rue Beautreillis. His girlfriend Pamela Corson discovered him. No autopsy performed under French law. Official cause? Heart failure. He was 27, same age as Jones, Hendrix, and Joplin, approximately 2 years after his 1969 prediction. Buried at Père Lachaise Cemetery, now the third most visited grave in Paris. True fans know he announced his timeline and hit it almost exactly. The Lizard King kept his dark promise. Number 2, Ronnie Van Zant.
Does not bother me. Does your conscience bother you?
The album cover showed them standing in flames. Street Survivors featured Lynyrd Skynyrd surrounded by fire. Ronnie Van Zant at the center with flames rising around him. Steve Gaines stood to his left, fire particularly prominent around his frame. The photo shoot happened weeks before the October 17, 1977 release. Nobody thought anything of it, just rock and roll imagery.
Commence to fight it. I wouldn't tell, I know.
But Ronnie had been saying for years he wouldn't live to see 30. He told bandmates, told friends, asked to be buried in a Neil Young t-shirt when the time came. He was 29. The band was at their peak. Sweet Home Alabama and Free Bird were anthems. Simple Man showcased the depth beyond the Southern rock stereotype. The new album featured That Smell and You Got That Right, some of their finest work. They had everything ahead of them.
I must be traveling on now.
October 20th, 1977, 3 days after the album release. Their Convair CV-240 ran out of fuel over Mississippi, crashed into a swamp near Gillsburg. The plane caught fire on impact. Ronnie Van Zant, Steve Gaines, Cassie Gaines, road manager, pilot, and co-pilot all dead. Ronnie was 29. Never made it to 30 like he said. MCA Records immediately recalled the album and changed the cover to remove the flames. True fans know the original, an image that looks like a warning from beyond. 3 days between the flames on the album and the flames in the swamp. Number 1, Marvin Gaye.
This morning, a sea was storming inside.
He named his killer. Not a metaphor, not a fear, a direct statement repeated to multiple people over several years. My father is going to kill me. Marvin Gaye's relationship with his father, Marvin Gaye Sr., was violently abusive from childhood. Beatings, resentment, a father who hated his son's success. The man who sang What's Going On and Mercy Mercy Me knew exactly how his story would end.
Let's get it on.
By 1983, Marvin was struggling with depression and cocaine addiction. He just completed the Midnight Love Tour behind Sexual Healing, one of his biggest hits. The comeback was real, but so was the darkness. Friends begged him not to move back into his parents' house in Los Angeles. He did it anyway. In interviews that year, he mentioned his father, mentioned death, mentioned the inevitable. Listen to Sexual Healing, knowing what was coming 6 months later. The joy in that song feels fragile, temporary, borrowed time.
I think I'm captivated, but the waves are rising.
April 1st, 1984. An argument between Marvin Sr. and Alberta Gaye escalated in their Los Angeles home. Marvin intervened to protect his mother. His father shot him twice with a gun Marvin himself had given him as a gift. He died in his brother Frankie's arms. One day before his 45th birthday, Marvin Gaye Sr. received 5 years probation. A brain tumor was cited as a factor. True fans know Marvin told everyone exactly who would kill him, by name, repeatedly, for years. The most accurate, most specific, most disturbing prediction on this list. Not a guess. A statement of fact that came true exactly as he said.